the smoke-filled clouds of the 303, all the way down to the 505. This is the Dro Bro Show with Remo Bitch, Grimx, and Soul Doja. Yeah, the Dro Bro Show.
All right, hold on. What's up, everybody? This is Mr. Vicious, Remo Vinci, and we are back with episode 22 of the Dro Bro Show. And I'm back as usual with my fellow Dro Bros, Grimx and Soul Doja. Say what up, fellas?
What up, everybody? Here for episode 22 already. Man.
Week of Summerslam.
Slam week, and how appropriate because we have a special guest with us today that comes from the pro wrestling world. We got from Apex Wrestling out of Mesa, Arizona, by way of TRC, Nate the Great.
That's it, boys. Thank you. Appreciate being here.
I read it up. Welcome to the show, my brother. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, absolutely. So Nate is actually one of the homies of Doja here, and we thought it'd be a great idea to bring him on this week. And Grim and I also didn't get to do a hot tag this week because we thought we would throw a little tag up on this show and get some of our SummerSlam predictions with Nate the Great here. But we'll get into our predictions a little bit later on. Let's start with Nate the Great though first. How you and Doja hooked up?
Oh, brother, we've been in this town now for how long now? So
long.
It just it's like a black hole around here, man. But everybody knows everybody, and we were co-workers and all, and you know we smoked the ganj a little bit, you know, with Soul Doja. Got to go smoke the devil's lettuce a little bit, but. It's good to be here on the Dro Bro Show, man. You know, of course, the place to do it.
Hey, you know, we're Dro Bros, so that's how we got to know each other.
That's it. Everybody over the Dro.
Throughout the course of history, that's how some of the best friendships have been started, was through a bowl. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's how we're all connected in the first place. That's how we became Dro Bros. Feel me?
Plus, we kick a lot of ass in the district, so they hate on us too. So that's how we click together. we stand back to back. Get back.
Back to back.
And we've mentioned it a
Bruce
few
Lee
times
Chuck
on
Norris.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go.
We've mentioned it a few times on the show that you guys are from the hometown of Cactus Jack.
That's it. Yeah. Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, man. A lot of people don't even know it's real, but it's real, bro. We're from there, for real.
Hey, got that cool ass name where you're just like, what? You know what I mean? You never heard of that.
Hey, well, it's fun. It's kind of funny.
Let me give you guys a little. Oh, I'm sorry. Go for it.
But speaking of TRC, it's kind of funny because like when you do tell people like nowadays, because everybody Googles everything. So I've had that happen numerous times. Like, you know, people like Googling it is a real town. Oh, they have like hot springs there and stuff. Delaney even did that. Or I mean, Graham did that to me too.
Well, like a lot of people don't even remember that this place used to be called Hot Springs for the hot springs. Then they decided to vote and change it to Truth or Consequences for a game show, and nobody even remembers the game show now. We still got hot springs though, so come to Tier C and use the hot springs still. They didn't go cold.
So about the hot springs, like, do they have like a few different pools, or is it just like one big one, or how does it work?
Oh, they're mass. There's all over. There's tons of them, like hotels. Like Riverbend is probably the sickest one because it overlooks the river.
Well, and they've dumped a lot of money into that facility too. Like, it's so upgraded.
Yeah, and you could get like private rooms, hotel rooms, like that one's pretty sick. But yeah, like he said, they've put a lot of money into that. But they're all over. They have rooftop ones and shit. Like, yeah, it's pretty cool.
That is cool, man. I didn't know that. This whole time I just thought it was just a little rinky-dink town. I didn't know it had like
What you say about my town?
action. That's kind of crazy. So now,
Hey.
now it makes me want to go and visit you even more, Doge, and go and take
Hey,
a freaking.
that's it. We got the lake and we got the hot springs. We got it all, man. The river. Well, it's got water for
Hey,
now. So,
we even got Rocky Mountain cannabis. That's our
hey,
store.
Rocky Mountain
Woo, woo,
Cannabis and
woo.
the
Yeah.
and the Butte Cannabis store too. Let's
Yeah.
yeah, those guys, they hook it up for them wrestlers from town, man. Let me just say.
So shout out to Rocky Mountain. And on that note, I think we might as well just get right on into our Drobin of the week. What y'all think?
Yep.
What? I'm barely catching my breath
Well, get
from the
your
dab.
you're
I'm
starting
just
off.
I'm just kidding. I'm smoking some garlic storm from Rocky Mountain. Woo woo woo. I went and got my dollar joint today.
There you go.
Yeah. What
I'll
about you,
tell you
Chris?
about that. I'll tell you about that later, Remo.
Please do.
We have
I,
a. Oh,
I,
go ahead. Go
I
ahead,
got
Brim.
some blueberry scone for the flour, and the cart is some lemon something. I think it's lemon berry haze or something.
Hell yeah.
Sounds good.
Well, I know Nate, you can't really partake with us, so in your place, I'll let you know I'm fucking with some of this cantaloupe on the vape, and I got
I
some
appreciate it, guys.
power.
Smoke one for me.
Mhm.
So here's to you, my brother.
Cheers.
Hey, they need something for that, huh? Fire it up, fire it up. We got that. We started saying that because we were talking about the Crow movie. I remember,
Oh,
like
yeah.
every time they would drink, they go fire,
Yeah.
fire. So ever since then, we've been doing it nonstop.
Yeah, I watched that movie like 2 days ago, man. It's a
Hell,
good little nostalgic trip right there for The Crow, man. I'm a sucker for The Crow. That's a good movie. R.I.P. Brandon Lee.
Yeah.
All right.
yes.
Yeah.
And with that, that has been the Dromant of the week.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I was just telling the guys before the show. I just went and watched that Deadpool Wolverine. Fucking sick. Sick as
Hell
fuck.
Nice.
yeah. I can't see that shit. We could do a cool review on it once we all see that shit, because that would be tight.
No, I want to know everything that happens right now. I need to know if it's worth watching before. Give me all the spoilers.
Spoiler alert. If y'all don't want to know what
I
happens,
just,
no.
just messing.
I'm kidding. Don't do that. You're going to miss all the whole show.
Mm.
But Nate, I did want to get into some of your wrestling stuff, man. How long have you been a fan? When did you get into it? Start from the very beginning, my brother.
What's the
Well,
what's
let
the
me.
what's the story about the man, myth, and the legend? Yeah,
Oh man.
buddy.
Well,
Tell
we
them
got
how
time.
it's.
I'll start at the beginning, but
Tell when we
so
were. You're.
I'm a lifelong fan, brother. I've been watching this, sneaking into the living room
No,
since
no,
I
no,
was a
no.
little kid to watch it.
I want you to go back to when you were swimming around in the ball sack. Where were you
Oh,
born at?
oh, got you. I was born in Birmingham, Alabama, as a matter of fact.
Uh, all
So
right. Okay.
yeah, I lived there for first 14, 15 years of my life. Moved here to Truth
Okay.
or Consequences for family reasons and all that. Ended up, yeah, I had an uncle back in Alabama who used to do pro wrestling as well. So it was already kind of established, and my dad was a big fan. Everybody loved Stone Cold there too. So
Yeah.
through
Hey, I was gonna
16,
say,
man.
real quick, shout out. I work with his dad too, and he's funny as fuck, man. He's like a freestyle comedian. And shout out
Oh,
to
Papa Great, Papa
Mister
Great.
Mr. Robert Bean, man. He's funny as fucker around.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah. Dope.
I'll have to
But yeah,
record
my
him.
uncle, he was in a tag team and all. They would do the local things in Alabama, and for Continental Wrestling, it was back in the time there. They were affiliate with the NWA back then. But so we ended up getting brought out here to New Mexico and stayed being a fan. And lo and behold, as fate would have it, I ended up moving down the street from a guy who used to do dark matches and worked with WCW back in the day.
Okay.
So riding the bus one day, I'm talking with his son. He's got a DX shirt on. I got a DX shirt on. We start talking. He starts showing me pictures and catalogs of his dad. His dad's name was Jason Lakey. He wrestled under a few different monikers and stuff, but he was mainly out of Dallas, Texas, and he worked with the Von Erichs back a little bit before he went to WCW and all that. But yeah, I ended up going to his house and we started going back and forth on talking and all, fanboying about this and that. And then he starts showing me old tapes of him, and lo and behold, we start training. And so this was all about the time I was about 16 or 17. So I've technically been taking bumps all over since 16, 17 years old. We'd be wrestling backyards, living room floors, anywhere you could have a wrestling match, even in a barn.
So
So
about what year is this?
probably, let me think. This all I think I met them in 06 or 07.
Okay.
And then probably about the time I started really training was 2009-ish or 2008-ish probably. And we live in New Mexico, and the big thing about New Mexico is they regulate pro wrestling a lot like you would a boxing show or a UFC show. Or so there's not a whole lot of places to go and start getting it going. So we would
Yeah.
have our own backyard wrestling things, because you could give tickets away, but you can't sell tickets, or then the commission in the state would want to know what's going on. So we would throw wrestling matches in our backyards for the neighborhood, for the whole Palomas Canyon. Everybody'd come there. I mean, you didn't have a legitimate wrestling ring back in those days. You were either hitting the ground or hitting the trampoline or coming off the hay bales even. It was a lot more backyard style back
Yeah.
then. But as we started going and progressing, we started going to El Paso and seeing how those guys would do their shows. And back before they have Devotion Wrestling in Albuquerque now, but back before it was called NMCW or something like that, like New Mexico Championship Wrestling. And we would go up there and we'd help them as much as we could. And we were just punk kids back then. So you'd get a spot to walk out with somebody and everybody kind of pattering their hands like, who is this guy? But you got to start somewhere. Everybody starts somewhere, and that's where I got my foot in the door, started meeting people and getting offers. And we started running our own backyard company pretty much. It was called HCW there for a long time, and we only had 2 or 3 champions in the history. That was probably a 10-year run right there.
Mm-hmm.
Then Apex Wrestling, where I'm at now in Arizona. We've been working with them now for the better part of this year, since January.
Mm-hmm.
It's doing real good. We've got another potential couple of shows coming up later in August, but can't really talk yet about that. That's still a surprise.
But Glory, is that associated to the Apex, the same Apex that you're a part of that just passed a couple days ago?
Say that again.
Glory? Was
Glory?
that?
Yeah. I haven't heard any of that, so I don't know if they're affiliated or anything like that or nothing. But they're doing partnerships with all kinds of people from Colorado and Texas and even California. They've had people coming in and stuff, and yeah, they've as a matter of fact, I've heard through the grapevine that Tommy Dreamer has been talking to a few people at Apex Wrestling. So you never know who could maybe make an appearance there. Former ECW champion.
That's definitely a good eye to try to get a hold of.
But yeah, I mean, I've been, and when I was with HCW, I did carry their belt for a little bit, and I think that's where I started to get a little credibility, because hey, he can work with just about anybody, even in a backyard. So I get offered to go to Phoenix, and I actually have a show coming up Saturday. Apex Wrestling Federation presents Warzone, and me and my newfound partner and I wouldn't go as far as saying friend yet, but newfound tag team partner Zach Powers. We got a little surprise for our opponents here on Saturday night. So Wedo Picante, Twisted. This is I hope you're watching somewhere out there. Say your prayers tonight. Eat a vitamin or two. Drink a drink a Gatorade for some electrolytes, because it is gonna be the greatest match you've ever wished you weren't a part of.
Well, that
uh,
sounds awesome,
Hell
man.
yeah.
Yeah. Uh, so who was your guy when you were growing up, man? When you said you were a fan since long
Oh
time ago.
man. So the little Nate the Great, man, back in the day, you have to understand everybody's a Hulkamaniac at some point, right? But Nate the Great took it just a little bit further. So a lot of
Uh,
people, when he went NWO, would be, oh, no, 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 no. I lived and breathed Hollywood Hogan, okay? I love Stone Cold too. Let's not get off that bandwagon. But, when it comes to my all-time favorite, let me think here, because I got a lot, man. But my overall wrestling hero would probably be Hulk Hogan. I've been watching him forever, but I like Shawn Michaels. I got I got the DX Triple H boys over there on the wall from back in the day, and you know
uh,
I I just I just like the sport, man.
Grim,
I am such a fan of
show
the
them what
sport
you
that
got.
say what?
Show them what
Like,
you do. Show them Shawn Michaels.
I got them all put away, but I have some standing over there. See, like,
Just
Oh
put.
yeah, yeah.
but
Well,
And
I've
back
like,
got
there, like right behind me, is basically the White Six
right up there. I've
over
got
there.
the Big Show's autograph right there. I've got Nature. You know what? I got Nature Boy Ric Flair's autograph too, man. I've got him on the program from the Royal Rumble where he made his debut with the black robe. He signed that magazine on that program. I have him signing his Hall of Fame WrestleMania when he wore the blue. Yeah, I've got that outfit. The action figure. He signed it. So me and the Nature Boy, man, I've actually met him a few times. He's a cool dude, man. He is. I've met Brooke Hogan too. I did not get the luxury of meeting the Hulkster, but I have on YouTube. If you go to Great Talk on YouTube, you can see all of Nate the Great's WrestleMania 38 weekend, and you will hear from Brooke Hogan's mouth herself, oh man, he is just so handsome. I thought he was my dad at first from way over there, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm Nate the Great, honey. And you're just not in line. So sit
oh,
back.
yeah.
hell yeah. I like that. I like that. That's good stuff
I,
right there, man. So
I was
so
got
you have something in common with Grim over here. Grim was a Shawn Michaels dude, you know. I was more of a Bret Hart guy myself, you know.
Hey,
So
there you go, man. That's it. The hitman.
yeah, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like a Randy Savage, Bret Hart, Eddie Guerrero kind of guy.
Oh yeah, the macho man. He's part of the madness, huh?
hey hey
Yeah.
Remo. Me and him, we always switch up at work, and we go into our Macho Man voice. Especially, we'll be like, oh, I start when we drink our energy drinks. I can start to feel that caffeine. Oh
That Red
yeah.
Bull running up my spine.
I'm a Sean Rock and Punk guy.
Think
Yeah, CM Punk. He's
ready.
Speaking of
He's
CM
one of my
Punk, when do you
faves.
think he'll be making his return into the ring?
SummerSlam.
Well, apparently on Saturday it's happening. So we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see what happens here.
Well,
See what him and
I
Drew
have
can.
a little bit of a thought that says he doesn't make it to the ring. So yeah, he'll be coming back. It's gonna be, but I don't think he's gonna make it. I think something's gonna happen in the back room or on the ramp, maybe. I don't know, but I just don't think Punk quite makes it to the ring yet.
Wow. Okay. Well, we were gonna run down the card and like really just kind of get into it and get everybody's predictions. You want to just start from the top and see what's cracking?
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm down.
Let's go ahead and get into it then. And Doja, go ahead and throw in all your little craziness, fool. Look at you.
I mean, since we're on it, that's the first one listed.
That's the
Is
first one.
it says
You feel like
I don't
something's
know
gonna.
if that's the first on the card. It just breaks it down that way on the. It says SummerSlam card, date, matches, match card, predictions, start time, rumors, and location. So
That
the
one's.
first one it says is CM Punk and McIntyre with special guest referee Seth Rollins. He's dope too. I love Seth Rollins. I know.
It's
I
Seth
like the
freaking
flamboyant
Rollins.
wrestler.
Let's get that correct. I believe his name is Seth freaking Rollins.
I'm not a big Rollins dude. I really think that I think his involvement's gonna be cool and all, but this whole idea that you said about something happening before the match even starts, I kind of like that. Because this one has to either start the show or end the show, right? You know, it's one of their biggest ones they're hyping up.
We
So
all been waiting for it, so why would you have it first on the card if something wasn't gonna be kind of screwy?
that's what I'm saying. That's weird that you said that. So we know if it starts the show, then it might be a fucking screwed up finish. You know what I mean? Leave us dangling. I hope not, though, man, because it's been a big buildup. I hope it's still. I mean, obviously, it's probably gonna build to something bigger still, right? But I don't know, man. I don't want to see final resolution yet, you know. But I don't want to see some bullshit either. I want a good showing. I hope Punk makes it happen. I hope it's an actual match.
Are you gonna rent it and watch it?
Yeah, I'll probably watch it.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. But so like I was explaining to Remo on the phone earlier, is that I felt like Raw and SmackDown they were pretty lackluster this last week. Considering SummerSlam's coming up, I thought there would have been a lot more build up. There was a couple things that were pretty good, like this whole set right here on when Seth freaking Rollins came out, basically during CM Punk saying what's gonna happen, and Seth comes out, tells him get back in the ring, or this ain't happening because you guys already pissed off all the referees. So if you don't listen to what I have to say, then basically this match isn't going down. And they go back and forth, him and Punk, and he's telling them nothing's gonna happen without his say so. If he wants to do a 10 count, then that's what's gonna happen. No one quits till he says they quit.
Hey,
And Punk
what the
with
fuck?
if you hate me like you say you do, then don't fucking help me.
Did you guys see that
And
shit? Did it mess up on you guys too?
I
No,
saw
I'm good.
for a second.
Man, I'm telling you, AI's been fucking with me ever ever since I started. What's that called?
yep.
My shit just totally like glitched out for like a minute. Everybody was like frozen and stuff.
It did that earlier to me too.
I saw Grim like tweak out for a second, but that was all I saw.
Well, who else
Nah,
is
it was
doing
all
what's
good on
that
my
called? All right, sorry. Get back to it. I was tripping. Fucking AI.
What do you think's gonna happen with Punk and McIntyre?
Who, me?
No, Grim. Yeah, you
Oh.
too. But I was asking Grim.
I think Rollins is gonna have a big part in this shit. And I honestly, like I told you before, Remo, I think maybe McIntyre, if they do go through with it, is gonna take it. Because Punk's been fucking him over for a while. And in this case, if they do it this way, then you can potentially have a triple threat match build up. And then start building up the Rollins Punk feud for WrestleMania.
You think they're gonna wait for Mania for that one?
Yeah, I think one of them's going to end up at the championship at some point, and they're going to have that match because Punk, that's what's in his contract, right? Is a WrestleMania main event match, title match. It doesn't say he has to win. It just says because he never got that during his run. So he's getting a title match at WrestleMania.
So Nate, are you a Punk dude?
I am. I'm not gonna lie. Since his UFC days, he kind of soured on me a little bit because I didn't like his attitude towards the sport of wrestling. It was, and I can understand it. He felt betrayed. He felt like, oh, I do all this and blah blah blah. But when you throw shade at the fans and the people that have made you, and got you to the show,
I agree.
it's hard to come back from that, you know. But I don't know. I almost feel like when it comes to Punk and the title, he doesn't need it. I
He does.
don't necessarily think they're going to have him around in that talk for a while. And Damian Priest, in my opinion, has been a fine world champion. You know, like he's carried it just fine. Oh no,
See,
no.
Remo don't
Hey,
like him,
hey,
although
hey.
Works for
Now,
me anyway.
I'm
that's
no
actually
I'm no Daddy Dom fan here or nothing like that, okay? But I do respect a good faction, and I respect a good worker, man. I mean, the dude
yeah.
went and WrestleMania, he sold me on Damian Priest. Because before I thought he was like maybe like a washed out version of like, man, I don't even want to say it, but like kind of like a washed up not a washed up version, but like a watered down version of like Undertaker meets Diesel. I was like,
But you know, that's his
trying to make
favorite
you,
wrestler, and
yeah,
he has
yeah.
the Undertaker tattoo actually.
I
Yeah, I
mean,
have
don't get me
have
wrong.
seen that.
I'm all about
Go
Frankie. You know, I'm all about Taker. You know, that's dope. But Priest couldn't be Taker on his best fucking day. You know what I mean? He couldn't be.
No, there's no comparison. I agree with that, but he's got all the makings to be like that dark kind of character. Like I wanted Bray Wyatt to be that replacement dark character, R.I.P. But you know, if Damian Priest would get a little dark, maybe get away from his group and all, and be solo and just be kind of that dark bad guy almost, it could be money.
I think
Yeah,
there's so much that needs to change about that dude, bro. I think everything about him is whack. I
I
think
like Damien.
I think the look, I think the moves, I think the fucking promo, I think it's all lame. I can't handle any of it.
Dude, he's so
Wow.
fucking
All right.
sick. Here's the
That's,
thing, though.
I
Since
saw
we're
his
on the
his
subject,
mic work is better than a lot of people on Raw and SmackDown. I'll even argue that Cody messes up sometimes, and he's the main guy.
yeah.
Cody's dope though, and
I do
Cody
he
like
has a
Cody
list.
Cody
And
will fumble words, but Cody's all passion, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
can't deny that.
um,
He's out there and
but
he's doing his best. I'll give it to him. He's doing his best because you know it's hard. Not everybody could do that kind of shit, you know.
so,
But
but Gunter, since we're on the subject, right? Because this is one of the matches. So Gunter, okay. I think if you could beat Gunter, it's gonna boost him even farther to where you may not like Remo, but I honestly think they're giving it to Gunther in this one.
Oh
they
yeah. Oh
they
yeah.
better not fucking let Priest go over on him because if Priest goes over on him, I'm fucking rioting. Fuck that shit.
Uh, Gunter's a badass. We've said this on the show a
Gunter
million
is
times.
a modern Fritz von Erich almost. You know what I mean? Like he has the makings to be, and I mean he's already a guy that could get heat with just about anyone he's in the ring with. But Gunter, man, he's the character you want to hate. You know what I mean? He's this. If he wanted to go full Nazi, he would be Fritz von Erich 2.0.
He's fucking
I
sick,
feel
though.
like
I
kind of,
love him. I love that he does the old school wrestling moves and shit like that, that he's bringing it back. I freaking love that. And how he does the chops and shit.
Oh
He's a
man,
badass.
reminds me of
a,
Reed.
a chop from him would knock the soul out of you, man.
I, I think he needs a mouthpiece though. You know, I think he needs somebody to kind of help get him over on the mic. Not Heyman, but like a Heyman type. You know what I mean? Somebody that could really carry that stick for him. That'd be badass. Doge, I didn't even
Yeah, a
ask
good manager.
Doge. I meant to ask you when we were on it a minute ago. What are your thoughts on CM Punk? Because you've known about him for a while.
What? Since when? I don't know. I was gonna ask. You guys are speaking about chops. How many chops have you had, Mister Nate the Great?
Brother. Well, let me just say this. In the way I was brought up and into this business, in order to give them, one had to receive them. And when you're standing there and letting a line of people chop you to the very last person, once you get past, 5 or 6 people chopping you in a row, I don't care who chops you. You're not going to feel it after that. That shit is raw hamburger meat, purple handprints all over. I've had people chop me
Uh,
so hard you can literally see the cracks in between their fingers on my chest.
See, I've heard that's like an initiation thing where you have to
It
stand in the
is.
corner and everyone slaps the shit out of you.
Oh, there wasn't
oh,
no corner. It was a line, almost like getting kendo sticked or some shit in Japan. You are walking down here and everyone is whacking you as hard and some as many as they could. You're not getting just one from some people. Some are trying to lay it in as quick as they can. It's
fuck. That's so
Uh,
funny.
but I can
Hey,
uh,
say I don't think I've ever been chopped by somebody like Gunter though. That dude, he's got oven
uh,
mallets or something for hands, man. He's
uh, hey, real quick, little piece of history. I've talked to you about the Primos hardcore wrestling, but Remo and Graham went and they were doing training camp or something with them for like for what, a day.
We
we did one day training, and we were the greatest tag team in Primo's history because I could we could take bumps, and that's all we could fucking do.
Oh
but
yeah, man. Hey, it takes guts to even get in there and try, man. Because a lot of people
I,
think it's a trampoline or something, and it
That's
ain't.
no,
bro. I had a bruise all the way down my back, dog. And the next
I
day, I
had
said,
my
you know what? Fuck that shit. I'll be a manager or something. I ain't doing none of
I had my
He said,
kid
"Give me a
get up.
mic. I'll talk."
Hey,
I had
that.
my kid get up in the ring at Rocky Mountain because I told him I want you to feel the ring and I want you to feel the ropes, and they let him sit in there. And he was like, "It's hard," and I said, "Yeah, that's what I wanted you to feel." Because remember, Remo, our first night, I was wearing a white T-shirt, okay, and so I went, and my ex at the time, she was like, "What the hell? They whip you?" Because my back, it had the
Oh
welts
yeah,
across it, and it
oh
was
yeah, and
bloody.
that's just from taking the bump off of the ropes to bounce. A lot of people think, "Oh,
That
rubber bands,
bro,
I'm gonna fling around." No, those are
uh,
steel cables or boat rope. We use steel cables at Apex. They're wrapped in all the electrical wire and all, but
oh,
man, that has no give to it. You hit and it's cutting into you, man. It's a metal rope.
hey, I remember like watching that shit like on TV, and then like I didn't know like for reals what the ropes were until I seen Primos and them setting up and hanging out with them, and I was like, damn, that's crazy. That shit's like steel cable and stuff. And
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, and then everybody said, see that's the part of wrestling like it's kind of like interesting to me because the training part, you know what I mean? Like the like people understand like the stuff they go through like through all of that to to be in shape and all that to wrestle. Remember, I was like, damn, like so two of the wrestlers he's fighting, they're bigger boys, and I was like, man, you gonna body slam that big boy.
well, the biggest thing I was taught in wrestling is you have no business in a ring if you're not at least lifting weights at some point every day. You should be in the gym every day before you get in that ring. It takes hundreds of thousands of hours of training to put on one match. Like it's it's so much work to go into a match that I mean, you know, let's just put it this way. I've been working with the same guy now since February. And every match is something different. Every match, he's gonna throw something else at me. He ain't beat me yet, but and now we got to work together. Ain't that some shit? But I digress. Twisted and Wedo Picante, I have more of a bone to pick with you than I do Zach Powers right now. So if the enemy of my enemy has to be my friend, so be it. I just hope that man, if he has put in as much training for this match as I have, these other two boys shouldn't even show up. They just shouldn't even show up because it's been about to be 5 weeks since our last Apex show. And I
Hey,
can already assure you, these boys, at least based on their sizes, haven't been doing a whole lot. Now, I'm not fat shaming anyone. That would be so, no, that's not me. I think everybody's beautiful. But there's only one great one.
hey, do
Mr.
you
Good.
think have you heard from him? Did he make it across the border? That bloody Canadian?
Yeah,
Mr. Mr. Picantes.
he had to climb Mr. Garrison's wall. South Park. He had to climb the Canadian wall.
I just went to South Park.
Oh
Hell yeah.
That's
man,
awesome.
that's
What else
that
we got?
town's
What's the next on the card?
that
Well, we
town's so
got
small.
Rhodes and Solo Sokoa, since we were talking about Rhodes anyways, and now Rhodes don't have anybody in his corner, so this is why I think Roman's going to come back that night. You know,
Mm-mm.
they're going to
Mm-mm.
build the storyline. You know, at first I think it's going to go the Roman and Rhodes against the Bloodline, and then it's going to build into the Bloodline 2.0 for like War Games or WrestleMania, I think.
What are you're shaking your head there, Nate? What you thinking, my brother?
You ain't gonna see Roman yet. You ain't gonna see Roman till closer to Royal Rumble or on the Royal Rumble. What's gonna screw Cody on SummerSlam gonna be that Viper, Randy Orton.
See, I've been
Uh-huh.
saying it. I've been saying that his heel
They've
turn is
they've
inevitable.
teased it. They've teased it. And what better way? And just saying, I know it involves someone else who's out the door, but what better way to have a retirement tour than to have potentially a match between a 15-time champion in Randy Orton if he wins, and a possibly 17-time champion against John Cena if he were to beat him, and then he could retire 17-time champion, go into the Hall of Fame. John Cena be whatever, they let him go out on top. I'm not a John Cena fan, so I could care less. I don't want to see him beat 17-time anything, but I do want to see Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. I want to see all of the lead up from the days of Legacy. I want to see all these stories come to life. I want to see Randy Orton go back to being like a legend killer almost. Like, Cody, I'm going to kill the legend of the Rhodes family when I beat you. That's how I would have it done.
The legend killer turned legacy killer. I like that.
Yeah.
That's
See,
good
but
stuff.
that storyline I think is going to be for WrestleMania, because WrestleMania is already going to have the Rock and Roman Reigns, right? So I feel
Well,
like that would
brother,
be
we're
a
already
great
in the 8th,
story.
9th month of the month or of the year. It's time to start working towards Mania. So they're going to start
So
laying the
I
seeds
think
for it.
if they
Definitely
did,
planting seeds. Definitely planting
if
seeds.
they did, I think it's going to be at a point where like Cody wins and they go to act like they're going to celebrate, and Orton just gives him an RKO, and then you're not going to find out till later why he did it. You know what I mean? And I think that's how it's going to go down with that heel turn. When I was telling you, when he was looking at him like he's going to give him the RKO when he was walking with the title, and everyone was trying to say, "Nah, he's just looking at the title." Nah, he's hinting at the heel turn.
Yes.
So I really like this Orton and Cena storyline you're talking about, because I've thought of that too. But I don't know if that's where they're going to go with Mania, though. I don't know if that's going to happen there. I'm thinking that might happen more towards like Rumble. Like that could be on top for the Rumble. Now, I do feel like Roman might be making an appearance here, though. I think they're teasing the shit out of it a lot. I feel like they wouldn't be talking about it as much if there wasn't some kind of truth to it. Everybody's a smart anymore, so it's like everybody knows, you know what I mean? So there's a whole lot of that shit going on. So I'm hoping it does, because I want to see this War Games match that you're talking about, Grim. At Survivor Series, I really want to see the Bloodline versus Bloodline and see that whole build up. Like that's gonna be awesome. And I feel like they have to start planting those seeds like now, as far as the team that's gonna be Bloodline point one, you know what I mean, or 1.0 or whatever. And I hope that happens with this Roman stuff. But
Speaking of Bloodline version 1.0 versus 2.0, do we think Sami Zayn gets re-involved at some
Yeah,
point, or?
that's what Grim keeps saying. I don't know. I'm feeling like there might be other family members that might be getting involved. I feel
I'm
like
thinking with this
Sami
last
Zayn.
episode of Raw, they hinted at it with Sami Zayn teaming up with Jey Uso and them showing their chemistry.
That's kind of what I was thinking as well. Like, why would you put those two together in the first place if you weren't going to go somewhere with it?
Right.
Yeah,
Trying to remind people, right?
They got a lot of good things they could do right now in the WWE story wise. If they wanted to go certain routes or certain, That's where I'm saying they got to start laying the seeds though, because
They gotta have
there's
Ron,
a there's a few.
Ron go over on Sammy, so Sammy could be freed up from that storyline.
Yeah, see,
So
they just got too many things connected to everything right now. You got to start tying in some loose ends.
That's kind of the beauty
that's
of it, though. You know, it's like this well woven web of craziness. You know,
Oh
Doge,
yeah,
that's
for sure.
I wish you were able to watch more or see some of the recaps and stuff, so you could see some of this, because you're not really up on a lot of it, my brother.
There's only one person that I said that got me interested in wrestling again.
And who is
Hey,
that for all of
hey,
our listeners?
what's her name, Nate? Remember I
Say
was
that
looking
again.
at
Liv Morgan,
what's
right?
that
Oh, Liv
girl's name?
Morgan, the champion, Liv Morgan.
yeah.
That's who Joey likes.
Yeah.
That's the only wrestler he knows off the top of his head.
Her- Who doesn't?
So,
Yeah,
but
I wouldn't
since
be
we were
surprised if
talking
he
about,
has her on his wallpaper, probably.
she's
He said, "Hey,
no,
you want to see my girlfriend?"
no, bro.
Hey, don't be giving the secrets away.
I've been a Liv Morgan fan for a minute, bro. She's been hella dope for a minute. But check it out. I actually went to a show. It was like a Monday Night Raw here at the Pepsi Center, and she got knocked out with the Bellas. It was like Riot Squad against Bellas or whatever. It was a 3-on-3, and she got knocked the fuck out, bro. And it was crazy.
Yeah,
so
that's messed up.
since we're talking about Liv and Rhea, um, my prediction, I know everyone wants Rhea to win. I want her to win, but I think Dom is going to
Oh, he's
betray
gonna
her.
turn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's been coming. He's gonna turn on her. Oh yeah. No, he's gonna cost her regaining the belt, and that's gonna get even more fucking heat on him. This dude is gonna be the most hated person to walk into a town or an arena anywhere in this world. To
Isn't it?
get heat like
Uh,
that, man, he's doing
Isn't it
something right.
crazy? Isn't it crazy how his dad is the complete opposite of that, where everybody loves him everywhere he goes, and Dom is the
No,
complete
but
opposite?
it's
His
because
true
he,
father is Eddie Guerrero.
yeah, that's what I
Y'all
was
are
going to
just in
say.
denial. Look at them. I mean,
oh,
side by side.
that's who that is. I didn't know that.
That's why I was saying he's going to freaking, he acts more like Eddie in his heel days. It shows.
For sure.
Well,
Yeah, no, he's gonna turn on her though, and that'll be a big. He won't even. Man, I don't even know where that'll go, but it'll be a big. Oh, everybody will be blown away from that.
Shit.
what he's doing, man. He's definitely been a breakout star for the last 2 years at least.
Hey, Dom has he's earned his own. He's not in his father's shadow at all. Like no one can
Yeah.
say you're here because who your dad is.
Well, he may have gotten the look from his dad, but he definitely kept their
Yeah,
attention on, you know.
yeah, he
Well,
got a
what I,
rub from his dad, but he's stood on his own since pretty much day one, man. Like
Yep.
he
Yep.
shocked
I
me.
like Dominic, even though, look, in the beginning I hated him. And that's the
Sure.
thing I liked about him
You
because
learn
he
to
does his
love to hate
job.
him.
He
Yes.
did his
You
job.
learn, yeah. Learn to love to hate him.
But
Yeah,
I liked him.
I agree with both of you guys though. I think Dom's gonna turn, and I think somehow Liv's gonna go over on Rhea, and it's gonna start this whole. She's gonna be Maleficent now, bro. Dog, Rhea is gonna be the queen of all darkness, and she's gonna take over the fucking world now. She's gonna be the leader of the Judgment Day. Priest is gonna get kicked the fuck out because he's a puss anyway, and it's gonna be stronger than ever, bro. Watch. It's gonna be Rhea and fucking. It's gonna be her and Balor because Balor's gonna go over on fucking these other fools too, man. Because Balor needs to do something better.
Let
Well,
me
with
let me say
Rollins,
something about Finn Balor.
yeah,
That dude, if he would have stuck with his demon gimmick and just stayed being that guy, but literally since he lost his universal title and had to, or not lose it, but had to surrender it because of injury, he ain't been the same. It ain't been the same at all.
Well, it's because they haven't pushed him the same. I feel like he's been just as good, if not better, physically and in ring and
Oh
all of
yeah, for sure. His in the ring talent is better than it's ever been. I'm just saying, like
so
the whole demon push and all of that, it was so over, and nobody's using it at all now. In NXT, when that heartbeat would hit,
it. Yeah.
dude, That gets your goosebumps going.
I have a theory, and Remo knows because I've been talking about it on our hot tag. And my theory is, and this is why I know they're building up for the Judgment Day breakup, is I told them we've almost got everyone from the gun club in WWE right now, except for the elite, okay? And I told them it's only a matter of time. And even after this Bloodline 2.0, you know, because you got founding members of the fucking gun club, this shit's going down. It's going down. They're building up for it. Yes, they haven't gave Finn anything, but he's gonna come back hard.
Honestly, I feel like it's gonna go a different way. I don't think it's gonna be a Bullet Club thing like you're talking about. I think it's gonna be like him and Rhea like reigning together as this
like a power couple type of thing.
Yeah, but not being a couple though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just like the
it's like Owen Hart and The Rock in the New Nation. You know, like equal leadership in this Judgment. And I feel like that's when we're gonna see the return of the fucking demon. You know what I mean? And it's gonna be Judgment Day demon, and that's gonna be badass. But I don't know. Cool. I don't know when that's gonna happen or how that's gonna happen because they kind of have him in this tag team shit right now, and he needs to get out of that, bro.
No, but you haven't seen the demon, and Finn Balor said this on record that you haven't seen him in a few years since the Edge fight at WrestleMania. What was it, 39?
That's true. That's true.
He said he hates it because he said it's 7 to 9 hours of makeup, and he tries to take all that emotion and anger, sitting in a chair for that long, and take that into the ring to personify that character. And he says that that's hard. It's hard to sit there.
Well, let me say this. You fucking chose your gimmick.
Exactly.
And you fucking chose what to do. I don't think I've ever heard Sting bitch about having to sit there and do his face paint. I don't think I ever heard the Road Warriors bitch about their fucking face paint. You know, you chose the gimmick. You got hired because you did this gimmick and you were this character.
Nate, you are great. You're welcome on any fucking time, my brother. I
appreciate that.
Hey, one more time for the motherfuckers in the back that ain't hearing.
Fire it up.
You know,
fire it up. Yeah, there you go. Fire it up.
One more just for you, my brother. Fire that shit up.
Fire it up.
That's hilarious.
There we go.
Oh.
That is so, but that is so true. Like, you know, even like with rapping or whatever, you know, you choose the gimmick, and that's what you know what I mean. Don't cry about it.
With ICP, right? Like, have to do that shit every damn night for how long?
Every day, bro, for years and decades. But yeah, come on, no, ICP you know, for sure. Those are the ones that they'll put makeup on just to go to the store because they don't want to be seen without the, you know. I'm just saying. Yeah. Anyone that's going to be one of the pun intended greats, you got to live it. You got to own it. It's got to be you.
Hey, speaking on that subject, a little quick story, but back to Primo's and Joey. He's Joey Terrifying. He said that they used to challenge each other, him and the rest of the Primo's dudes, to see who could stay in the gimmick that longest, and they would go out to eat. And, you know, and they would go out like and do all kinds of shit, and they would try to see who would break character first. You know, it was like a game they used to play and stuff. But I always thought that shit was kind of funny to go out and fucking play the role, you know.
Some of these guys ain't playing a role though. That's what I'm saying, and that's who's the greats. Like my dad knew a guy who owned a restaurant in Gulf Shores, Alabama, which is basically like the beach down there. It's right on the ocean. Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair and all those guys used to come down there and eat and stay there at this restaurant. He said that the Road Warriors came in one time and ate 6 rotisserie chickens and destroyed the fucking place. Tipped him well, but destroyed it. They weren't playing gimmicks, bro. They were rowdy and they were rocking that night. You think Ric Flair is playing a gimmick when he goes into the bar and buys around for every 200 people in there and then starts it? Hell no. There's a reason he's on every episode of Dark Side of the Ring.
Man, it's come from that era, bro, where like you said, they lived their gimmick for sure, bro. You know, that's
Old
what it was.
School is still cool.
Yep. That's tight.
Right.
Yeah, but New Jack, I feel like took it way too far.
Well,
New Jack thought wrestling was like the movies where you get to really do something and throw someone and try to kill them. New Jack, by all rights, don't get me wrong, a lot of respect for him, big fan of him, love him. But that dude should have been incarcerated years ago and not to ever be in a wrestling ring again.
that's
So,
my thing. Like, dude, you need to be held accountable for some of the shit you do. You know what I mean? And you
Oh,
can't
yeah.
go and hurt people and not have consequences. You know what I mean? So that's kind of whack to me. You know what I mean?
See-
But dude had an incredible gimmick, and it was at a time when that shit was,
He
you know,
was raw as fuck, man. He was real as it gets. Like he I mean, I'm pretty sure he's in jail now. I'm pretty sure I just saw a thing about him being
he died.
incarcerated or something. Oh, he
He actually
died.
passed away about a year or two ago, something like that.
Oh, wow, shit.
See, so
Yeah,
You
it
know
was,
I
what? No,
like him.
it was Too Cold Scorpio that went to jail. I just saw though. He went to jail for stabbing somebody.
just
I think.
recently, just
Yeah,
recently, like in the last 2 weeks, yeah, something like
yeah.
that. They're
Wasn't
asking for
Dax Wheeler going under charges or an investigation over shooting somebody or pulling a gun out on somebody in a road
Yeah.
rage event? Dax
I
Wheeler,
didn't
I
hear
think
that
it
one.
was.
Didn't hear
Damn.
that one.
All I'm saying
But
is I liked New Jack since the freaking Sunshine Network back when ECW was on satellite, but I do think he went way too far. You know what I mean? With his
Oh,
career in the end and some of the things that he's done as far as wrestling goes, is the kayfabe,
accidents
whatever.
happen all the time. Look what happened to Jim Cornette when he came off the scalpel. Broke both of his legs, but that wasn't done to break his legs.
Sure. Yeah,
New
definitely.
Jack tried to kill this dude coming off that scaffold, man. He hit the turnbuckles and the ropes and the oh man. Yeah, that's the name of the game, man, is you gotta be in there to protect not only yourself, but you gotta, you know, at the end of the day, it's all a money game. We're here to make money. Put on a
Yep.
show, send these people home happy. They don't want to see somebody die and have to go to a
Right.
damn courtroom.
I agree.
Come
I
on.
agree. And one more shout out to Two Cold because he's actually a Colorado boy. He's from Denver. You know what I mean? So
R.I.P. man. Or no,
But that's why
yeah.
I
he's the one
always
just through some shit right now. So we hope
He's
we.
the one, yeah.
I
Hey
always
man,
say
I've been meaning
wrestling.
to ask. So what's your finish, bro? What do you do?
Oh man.
Here, wait. I'll
I
answer that. I'll answer it. He gives him.
Oh no. That's a different kind of wrestling, Joey. Come on, Soul
Oh.
Doji. You're getting out there, bro. No, my finisher is
Oh
whatever the
wait,
hell it takes to get it done. Most of the time
that was
I'll resort to my good old neck breaker stunner. That's usually been the one that puts people down, but I've also finished matches with a couple super kicks and
Okay.
I haven't got to use it yet in Apex, but I got a crossface that would probably make a certain Benoit jealous. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't seen a good crossface ever since. I feel like they try to shy away from that move just because, you know.
I know it's all taboo with him and stuff, but if you're into any conspiracy theories or know people in the business around him, I just think it's mighty funny that a dude that strong would hang himself for 30 pounds. I don't think that's real. I think without getting into it all, I just think he had a hit on him. If you go back to previous WWE games, they even foreshadowed stuff. It just somebody
I've
put a hit
said
on
it
him.
because in the video, if you listen to the phone call, the way that he's crying is as if he's being forced to watch. You can hear a kid screaming in the background. So
Yeah,
it's like,
it's so bad. I've looked into all of that literally from the day it's happened. I've known people that lived in Georgia, kind of around where he lived and stuff, and knew like his neighbors and things. I'm not saying like I know the man personally, and I don't think he would do that. But when you've heard so many things from people that are like from people that are close to him or knew him, and even his son that survived is like, I just have a hard time believing all this because I mean, we've heard what Chavo says on his interviews too, and that was like his brother basically. So I just I just feel like there was some demons in the closet for sure, but I don't think the man committed what they say he did.
Wow. Well, that's
That
a that's a
might not be a popular opinion, and I'll take whatever heat from the comments they want to give, but when even the police reports don't really make a lot of sense, and the autopsies were done so freaking late afterwards. It just, I mean, what do
I
you
It
think
wish.
a
was
brain
years
would look like?
after.
Yeah, what do you think a brain would look like after almost 4 months of being dead? And then
Yeah.
you're gonna do the autopsy. Hmm.
Yeah.
Deteriorated is what they said. It was like a 80-year-old man's brain is what they were trying
Sure,
to say.
sure,
'Cause,
but look at how fast rigor mortis can set in when not, being put in a cooler or taken to
yeah,
the
4
funeral home.
hours.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's very shady. So if he did do it, then by all means, he deserves whatever punishment and hell he's getting. But if he didn't do it, then I think it's really sad. For over 10 years, we've been running a dude down that gave us nothing but entertainment and his body and everything. And
Yep. Almost 20 years. It's crazy. It's been like an
yeah, it's been
entire
a long time, man.
like there's been an entire generation of wrestling fans now that only know him as this tragedy story that don't even
Yeah,
know anything about the guy beforehand, you know?
With the Monday
true.
Night Wars fucking four horsemen, man.
It's true. He's the only modern four horsemen that I personally would lump in with, like, when they went into the Hall of Fame. Like, I wouldn't have let Mondo or none of those guys go
Yeah.
in, but
About
by God, Chris
Malenko.
Benoit.
What about Malenko?
Not with the horsemen. I agree. I
Don't
don't
get
think
me
so.
wrong. I'm a big fan of Dean Malenko, man of 1,000 holds. But when it comes to who's a bigger star, Chris Benoit or Dean Malenko,
I
same,
mean,
man.
he was so much bigger too, and
But
he had a little something different. You know, I think if Dean had a little bit more personality, I think he would have gone a lot farther, you know?
Yeah, his personality and whole gimmick was kind of dry, like, oh, I'm a good wrestler. I got all these moves. Like Kurt Angle had a good gimmick like that too, but he had personality and pizzazz and
but
Or
some
or
sizzle
maybe
to his.
or maybe even a mouthpiece, you know what I mean? Maybe if he had somebody like
Yeah, a good
Malenko's
manager to
best
come talk for him and he just be seen. Yeah.
his was dope, bro. Like there
his
wasn't too
best
many
sto-
good in
his best storyline was with Jericho, hands
in
Oh
down.
Ray.
yeah, for
And
sure, for sure.
everything you did with Ray was awesome too.
Yeah, yeah. Dean Malenko and Rey Mysterio's feuds were well, and Eddie was mixed in there too throughout it. But I mean, those guys, those are the ones that pop out of my head when I'm thinking of WCW matches.
Yeah.
Jericho, Rey Mysterio, Benoit, those guys doing the cruiserweight shit.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I was a big WCW dude, bro. It was cool, man, for a little while because you could watch because they did like a replay, right? Look like almost immediately after or whatever. So you could watch fucking Raw and then go back and watch the replay of Nitro and get to watch them all in the
Never
same
miss
night.
nothing. Yeah, never miss nothing. I can
But
remember having two TVs in our house. One in the bedroom have Raw on, one in the living room have WCW going. Oh, let me run back and forth. And then you'd
Yeah.
forget during the commercial break. You're like, oh, fuck, I'm supposed to run to the other room to see what's happening on the other show. So,
Oh, so I used to record Raw. I would try to watch them both live, but in case all the shit I would miss, because when you're watching WCW, it comes on twice.
yeah,
So then if I couldn't watch all of WCW, you could watch it again that night, and you just watch your recording tomorrow.
yeah.
for sure.
But to be
Yeah.
honest, y'all, after a while, I stopped watching WWF, man, and I was just only WCW'd out. And then it wasn't until like around the time when I don't know, I guess when Tyson got involved or something like that, when I started watching again, something around that time probably.
Yeah, it
See,
was kind of the opposite for me. Once WCW started getting a little silly and there was three different versions of NWO, that's when I specifically remember in my brain I didn't watch WCW live anymore. I was like,
What was the third version?
The NWO Elite. You had NWO Wolfpack, you had NWO
Yeah.
Black and White, and you had the NWO Elite, which was red and white and blue. And
What? I don't remember that.
yeah,
Who is it?
Hogan was in charge of that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit. See,
Yeah.
I'm out the game by then. Is that like Vince Russo shit or what is that?
Yeah.
Getting damn
That was
close.
at
It's
the end.
either him or it's so bad. It's so bad. It was about the time Hogan got him and Vince Russo were talking, and he was like, "Oh, you'll never see that piece of shit work in this wrestling business again," and blah blah blah. And Hogan's like, "That's why the shape this country, or that's why this company's in such the damn shape it's in, because of bullshit like this." And then Hogan wasn't on TV after that. He wasn't on WCW anymore.
Yeah. How crazy, man. That company just was like on top of the world and then they just crumbled just like that.
Remember,
That's
Sting
proof
wasn't
right
on
there.
it.
Yeah, that's proof right there, though, that how much politics can really not even ruin you, like your gimmick or but your whole company. You know what I'm saying? Like when you don't like it worked so well for WWE because you had one guy. You had one guy that you have to run your shit through, and he's the decision maker. WCW, man, it was the inmates running the asylum, dude. I don't see how you can make any business, even if you were working at the schools or something, if everybody gets to make their own decisions and there's no boss, there's no productivity. There's no,
Yeah.
it's just not going to go nowhere.
They should have just gave it to Bischoff. He would have done much better with it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Well, at least Tony Khan's gonna show us how another one could fail.
I don't know. I've been hearing how Tony Khan's been talking with Shane McMahon. So
I know. Crazy? Isn't that fucking crazy?
the day something that gets announced between Tony Khan, AEW, and freaking a McMahon is the day
Right?
the internet's gonna break.
Well, they even showed, like a picture of him in a
Them
damn
shaking hands. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
If they
Well,
do,
shaking
would
hands,
be
but I
the-
saw them in like a boardroom and they both were like, "Oh shit," like somebody got a snapshot.
it's the only way I feel that AEW would be able to continue to compete with WWE at this point.
Like they're trying to pay for this ridiculous roster, but they're not handling it right. They got
Yeah.
too many toys to play with, and they don't know how to do it right. So I'm hoping that somebody could harness a lot of that energy and really fucking do it right. Because if they did it right, bro, they could be utilizing Ring of Honor fucking awesomely. They could be utilizing every damn show they got. This being the elite, you know how all that shit got this fucking giant YouTube following. They could be doing that right. Like they could really be hitting
let's
cylinders.
go back to that ROH thing. If you want my opinion, AEW ruined ROH. Now I know the Von Erichs just won the tag belts, so congratulations to them. That's very cool. But there's not an ROH title I give a crap about. Like,
and that's because they're not doing with it.
Yeah, and it's just a wasted time slot for their pre-show or whatever they use it for now. But I've noticed we've talked a lot about AEW and WWE. Any of you guys watch TNA at all?
So I don't really get to watch hardly anything, to be honest with you. I watch a lot of highlights and I check out a lot of news stuff. I don't see anything live unless it's like a Summerslam or one of these shows,
Nick Nemeth, though.
Yeah.
But I know about the shit, and I'm big on TNA right now because they're killing it, bro.
If TNA had the money or the assets that AEW had, dude, AEW would be the third, fourth brand down the line. Because in my book, I peg it WWE, TNA, then AEW, because
I'm very leery.
TNA just makes it work so much better with their littler crowds. The aesthetics look amazing. You go, I mean, even in the middle of COVID, I thought they killed it, bro. They had it down to almost a science. It was like, this is studio. Like, we're gonna make so many lights and stuff. We're not gonna put TV screens for people to buy a ticket to a TV camera. Hell no.
Yeah.
I just, when I saw that, it kind of made a light bulb go off in my head that wrestling can be done differently than what the status quo has always been. And that's when, this was before Apex and all, and this was after, my mentor had already passed away and everything. So I kind of thought wrestling was on the burner. It was just kind of done for a minute. But my brother said, he's like, hey, we're getting all this COVID money and all this, and everybody's got time to be at home. Why don't we build a studio? Okay, what do you mean? He said, well, why don't you buy or build a building, and I'll buy a wrestling ring, and we'll start running YouTube shows and stuff. So we did that for the better part of 2019 and 2020. We were just running studio based YouTube wrestling shows. I mean, Soul
That's
Doja's
awesome.
watched them all.
Hey,
That's
hey,
awesome, bro. I love that. That's great.
we,
That's awesome that you bring it up that way too, because I feel like when COVID happened, it obviously disconnected us from each other pretty severely, right? But I think it also connected us with ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people really got in tune with what they're trying to do and what they're passionate about. And there's been so many like podcasts or like different kind of content creation
Oh yeah.
ideas from COVID specifically. You know what I mean? Like this whole thing kind of started from some ideas in those
Yeah.
days. Obviously,
yeah,
Grim and I have been talking about doing shit like this for the better part of 10, 15 years. But like since COVID, it's become more of a reality, and I think that's happened with a lot of us. That's kind
you
of
know,
cool how
like,
that happened.
This
hey,
was
For
going to
sure.
start off as a wrestling thing, truth be told. Years ago
Yeah.
is what Remo wanted to do, because we used to create our characters and stuff and have our finishers and create a roster, and we'd create
Hell yeah.
storylines. And we were going to fucking do commentating for it.
Hey, what
Yep.
what what was really hurting us with the YouTube, but this is where, just like you said, good things can come out of bad things and all. When COVID was in its full swing, we had the ring built and everything was all up and going. It was so hard to get talent to come here because they didn't know about us. They didn't want to come and get sick or nothing. They didn't know what kind of safety protocols. They didn't want to get in trouble with the commission or nothing like that. So we ended up literally going around our town and surrounding towns and finding, decently athletic dudes that maybe were fans at one point or something. And we started training people, you know, not officially or whatever, but just like, oh, you like wrestling? Well, here, let me show you a couple things. Let's see if we can make a video together one day. Let's see if we can. And that sparked so much more interest in the sport itself that those people that don't even do anything with us anymore are still following and watching or trying to do other things with us. And it's just really crazy to me how, like, okay, you real wrestlers didn't want to come do anything. Okay, well, we'll make what we can with who we can. And then they saw, oh man, these guys are getting like 1,000 views, and oh man, these guys are getting, well, you could have been a part of it, man. Come down. It's not, it
It's
just
almost like your own little version of Tough Enough or something. It's kind of cool.
Pretty much, yeah. It was like, okay, like there was some guys, big old dudes that played football, that come in, hit that thing one time and go, fuck this ain't for me, man. I'm out of here. And you're like, okay, hey, yeah, I understand. But then some people hit it and go, oh man, that's not bad. Okay. And then you'd start teaching them and showing them things. And then there's one guy, he started out as a semi-pro football player. His name's Micah Sanders, and he likes to wrestle now by the name of Nails. But he started with us, and he's been going through an injury right now. He's been trying to come back from it, but he's getting very close to making his comeback, and he may be showing up sometime somewhere. But that's a dude who literally just showed up one day, man. Literally showed up knocking on the door, was like, what's all that noise in that big old building? Come on in, let's show you. And it's been off to the
uh,
races ever since. But
I love
uh,
I love that. That's some inspiring stuff too, because not a lot of people bet on themselves, bro. And for whatever reason, I've been seeing it a lot more lately, and it's cool because it's obviously happening. You know how they say like yawns and smiles and things like that are infectious. I
oh
believe that
yeah.
I believe that kind of mindset and that kind of positivity is also infectious. So once that kind of stuff starts rolling, you start seeing it everywhere. It's like little patches of flowers or weeds that just
Yeah,
pop
yeah,
up.
they just start popping up everywhere. Everybody's mental juices start flowing and
Exactly.
creativity start. Yeah, it's contagious. Just
Yeah.
like a bad mood, so could a good mood. Just like a bad idea, good ideas, everything's contagious. You can either build people up or tear them down.
Good stuff, my brother. Great stuff. We're actually coming down to like our last 20 minutes here, so let's make sure we get into our last few matches here and get into our predictions, and we could make sure we send you off the right way, my brother.
Sounds good.
So you got Bailey and Nia Jax, for the other women's championship, and Nia Jax is teamed up with Tiffany Stratton. So,
Oh, first of all, dog, Doja, you need to watch Tiffany Stratton. She's badass too.
yeah,
But I'm everybody that knows I'm a big Bailey person, bro. You know, she's a Martinez, I'm a Martinez. It's basically family, bro. She's like my cousin. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm always rooting for Bailey, bro, no matter what. You know what I mean? But I think this whole title run that they've given her, bro, has been very lackluster because they've been fucking booking her kind of like shit, bro. You know, she needs something better to sink her teeth into. So it may be losing this title and her turning face again, like for real, and getting some of that hugger back. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's what's gonna happen with her. I don't know if it's gonna go full hugger, but like some kind of new variation of it, I think. I don't know if we'll get those inflatable fucking whatchamacallem dudes again, but something has to happen, bro. You know, her shit is like I like the look, I like the attitude, but just something ain't clicking. You know what I mean? Something ain't working. So I'm hoping something
wacky
good.
inflatable flailing arm tube men.
All right.
I'm not in agreement with the waving arm guys. Let's not bring those back. But I will agree that Bailey's it's not working, man. You need to go back to what was working because this
Damage control.
yeah, I don't even like the look even. Like the new shorter hair and her new outfit. I don't like that. Go back
I
to
don't
your
either.
ponytail at least
When
and I don't know.
she does too much like crazy shit with the hair or the makeup, I'm like, it's a little funky. But
Yeah.
I'm like, she's been wearing some dope ass gear and stuff. I'm like, I like the adventurous nature that she has with that. But some of the hair stuff, I agree with. You know, I wish she would have kept it a little bit longer too. But I was gonna ask you about Nia Jax. What do you think about her right now in this little current run she's got going on?
I think it's
I
better
say
than
thumbs down.
before
It's
because she
better than
was hurting
before, but
people.
I'm just not a fan of Nia Jax. I'll be honest. Out
I
of out of out of the Rock's lineage that are females, give me Tamina Snuka.
I think they could both easily slide into slots on the bloodline, to be honest with you. And I'm kind of surprised that they haven't teased any of that because Tamina and fucking Nia could be a force to be reckoned with like that, bro. It would breathe new life for both of them, I think. But
Yeah, there's no reason they shouldn't at least be a tag team together. You know, like they could really make a splash in the women's division, period. Because right now you ain't got a whole lot of women's tag teams.
I don't know if
So
she's even really doing things anymore. In fact, didn't she just leave last week? Her and Lashley and MVP,
yeah,
they all left.
Tamina got released. Yeah, MVP and all them. Yeah,
Yeah.
So
but
I don't know what's gonna
I've
happen.
heard things too. I've heard things where Bobby Lashley may be going to TNA again. So if
I
that
think
happens,
that's where he
that'd be a
should go.
big jump for them. So maybe
I
she
would
shows up.
I would rather see him make a bigger splash in AEW, but I know he'd get lost in the shuffle there. You
But
know what I
see,
mean? So,
I was hearing that TNA might work out a deal with WWE where they get to pick
Start
from some
using
of their.
people across the brand.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah.
they've already
Which
been doing that with that Joe Hendry and whatever, and
he
they've had
wants to challenge John Cena in this last run. He said if he wins the TNA title, he's going to challenge John Cena.
hey man, I believe in Joe Hendry. Okay.
I've
I'm a fan of him.
I've only heard and like seen highlights. I haven't actually seen very much of him at all. So I'm like,
Oh man, he makes total parodies of all the good old songs and stuff. He's a good character, man. He's gonna go places.
okay, well, I'll give him a shot. If he's got your endorsement, I'll give him a shot.
Yeah, he's got my seal of approval. I'd like to see him get on a bigger stage and really, I don't know, get to have some freedom with something.
Now, now, do y'all think that Ricochet is gonna land in AEW, or you think he's gonna show up in TNA?
I think you're
TNA.
better off in AEW though because of the talent and the type of wrestling he does.
I mean, bro, if we don't get a giant Osprey Ricochet, and if we
Yeah.
don't program there,
Or
dog,
Sling Blade.
they got him already, but never on this kind of a stage, bro. Those two will fucking destroy the wrestling scene for everybody.
Jay White.
Well, speaking of Will Ospreay, what do you think about his little back and forth he had with Triple H on their two respected interviews about work ethic in the business?
So that was a little while ago, right? A couple months ago.
Yeah,
So
a little bit. It was a little bit after WrestleMania, I think.
I think Osprey. I think Osprey's bitter, bro. I think he's bitter because I think he wanted to come to WWE.
That's what
And
I was thinking when he
think
said that
that-
too. I was like, dude,
I think
he's
that either
sounding a little.
the numbers weren't right or something wasn't right, so he ended up going with the safer bet. I feel, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
for
His
sure.
buddies were there. The
You know,
all elite.
Yeah,
bitter, and I feel like he's bitter about it. You know what I mean? So I get
that's
it.
what I thought. I thought it was some kind of little personal jab, like, you're just a little bit grouchy, kind of, that you didn't. You're not a part of WrestleMania weekend this week, so you're a little mad that things didn't line up or whatever. But
So
I mean, I'm a total fan of him. I think he can do things that other people just
Can't even think
it
of
shouldn't be possible, especially with someone his size. He's gotten bigger since he was on the Independents, and
how bigger.
he's still doing the same acrobatic.
You know,
I don't know.
you know who else
but
I put in that same category that they don't fuck with nearly enough is Pac. I put Pac in
yeah.
that same category.
Yeah,
But
I
on the
feel a lot like he's gotten wasted, like Dolph Ziggler kind of got wasted.
Oh,
Like
even worse.
you,
yeah,
well,
big
yeah, but I
time.
mean, like, just never given an opportunity to really shine or show.
Well,
Yeah.
Cole really fucked it up for him too, because he couldn't get released to work or anything for a
Yeah,
while.
he couldn't get the visa or whatever. Yeah.
So on the
See,
next match, I wanted to ask you, what are your thoughts about like Logan Paul as far as coming to wrestling from being a YouTube sensation?
Okay, so me and the Paul brothers, I think they're really annoying. I don't like either one of them really,
Yes.
but I hate Jake with such a passion that if he were to ever challenge Nate the Great to a boxing match, I would probably take that so seriously that I'd go full boxing. I'd go full boxing. I'd leave wrestling, go full boxing just to end Jake Paul's reign and chokehold he has over it all. Logan, I'm not gonna lie. You have, I mean, you've stood on your own. Like, dude, your matches you've had, I've not seen him have a bad match yet. Like, granted, you're working with the best of the best trainers, though, so you better not screw up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're getting the best training money can pay for.
But even with that, bro, that nothing's guaranteed, and he seems to come through every single time. So
Yeah,
it's kind of funny
totally. Yeah.
to get up to the two brothers. It reminds me of the whole argument between Bruce and Tom Pritchard. Like, some people will say they'll take a bullet for Tom, but put one in Bruce. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
that's
for sure. Yeah.
sounds like the same kind of thing.
So I like Logan Paul as far as not his character. He's not my favorite wrestler, but I think that he has impressed. Like, he reminds me of when Kurt Angle came. See, and I consider Kurt Angle one of the GOATs just because he had all of it. He's the total package, okay? And
Yeah.
from coming outside the business and just fucking coming into something he didn't know, and obviously, like he said, he's had some of the best teachers with The Rock and Stone Cold, but fucking that's what I feel like Logan Paul's done. He has not disappointed me in anything he's done yet. Okay.
Yeah, I have to give credit where credit's due. You've come into the world of wrestling and you didn't insult my intelligence when you got into the ring. And your promos are a little, I mean, it's like your YouTube channel. I don't want to hear you talk, but when he turns it on, man, he's just as good as anyone there.
It works for him for sure.
But LA Knight, that's who I want to win in this match.
Yeah,
I'm
LA
tired
Knight.
of Logan
I'm a big
Paul.
fan of him. Yep.
Bro,
I love LA Knight.
feel me on this for a second, bro. Like I haven't always been able to see a lot of LA Knight, and I actually got to watch more build up just the other day. And I honestly, I feel like I'm starting to get a little sour on dude, bro. Like I was feeling him. Don't get me wrong, I was feeling him. The whole build up through the winter. I was on his side pushing for Mania, all that shit, you know, but they kind of fucked him off a little bit. And I think it kind of soured him a little bit. Now he's kind of stale. I feel like he needs something to change it up a little bit. And I don't know what that's gonna be. Maybe this title run does it. I don't know, but I need to see something different.
WrestleMania definitely kind of popped his balloon of momentum and everything
Yeah,
that he had building up. But dude, I've watched him since TNA and all the old, he's been running this thing for years, and
Yeah.
it's all finally coming to where it's money now. You know what I mean? Like when he gets a belt, it's gonna be.
I hope so, because right now I'm kind of disappointed, to be honest with you. Even the promos, I was listening to some shit the other day, and I was like, because I've been hearing all this hype, you know what I mean? Like all that, so I'm like, all right, let me see. And I watched the shit.
Yeah.
Like I'm here twiddling thumbs still, like I'm waiting for greatness, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe it's my fault. Maybe I'm putting him up to these standards that I'm letting people put in my ear or something, you know. But I don't know. I didn't see anything great. I saw like when the Rock was on top back in the day, or Austin, or any of the greats, you know what I mean? When they were on top, you just saw the wheels turning instantly, and you didn't see them fuck up. There was no little bullshit, you know, like they.
Here's the difference, though, brother. Back then, they didn't have a 3-page script they got to remember. That's why
Yeah,
Ric Flair don't want to do nothing with WWE. He said, I am good when I can go out and talk. I
yeah.
cannot sit here and try to remember a line. He's like, I'm not an actor. I'm a
But
wrestler.
but these guys got freedom now through Triple H, right? Like they got a little bit more freedom to do some of that shit now. Because you've been
There's
seeing it.
more freedom, but I mean, I don't know how much freedom you really got still, though. You know, like you
I
still
feel
got board members, you still got trustees and
like
Rock.
stockholders, and when they go to Netflix, you will see the curtain get pulled. When they are on weekly Netflix, it's going to be, that's when you'll have true freedom kind of to go out there and I'll just shoot from the hip.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot different. Anxious to see what happens there. What's our last match there, Grim? My fault. We're coming down to our like last 8 minutes.
Sami Zayn, Braun Breaker, and Ilya Dragunov. I think
Braun Breaker.
Braun Breaker, yeah,
Fuck yeah.
Ron
because
does,
they're building up for Bloodline 2.0. Sami Zayn's gonna lose it, but he's trying to give the push to Braun Breaker. Ilya Dragunov, he's a freaking stud too. With the way that he wrestles, he's like a beast. So I think this is gonna build the feud between these two for that Intercontinental run.
I think Braun needs to go over, but if he doesn't, I think Ilya needs to go over, bro. And then Braun's chasing him because he wants to kill him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
Yeah,
what I was gonna say. Yeah, if he loses, he needs to just try to destroy everything, go
Yep.
totally bonkers, and just But
But it can't, but
I
it
think
can't
he
be
should win.
Sammy, though. To me, it can't be Sammy though. Like Sammy has to be,
No.
he has to drop it. He has
Yeah.
to drop it and be out the picture finally, because then that
Yeah.
frees him up to go and get into this whole bloodline situation. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at. What y'all think? You guys are in agreement?
yeah.
I pretty much 100% agree on that one for sure. Yeah.
You too, Hondos?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, that's our review. Our predictions at least for it. So hopefully we got some of them right. I think we got most of them right. To be honest with you, I don't see any swerves coming unless there's a Roman appearance, unless there's this fucking weirdly rumored Brock appearance. You know what I'm
that
saying?
would that would that would make me mark out right there if I heard Brock Lesnar's music hit, because I'm just not expecting it really at all. I
Uh,
think it's just rumors, but if it happens, where does he fit in?
and there's also rumors of
Oh,
Charlotte making her return. Also,
if Brock
Oh, I
comes
have
back,
heard
he's
that.
he's picking up his feud with Gunter again. The feud
Oh
that was
man,
supposed to happen that never happened,
yeah,
and that's why he needs the title.
so if Gunther goes over, which I hope he fucking does, God get pre motherfucking way. If that happens, then you think that might happen? You might hear the crazy Brock entrance.
Yeah,
Honestly,
maybe.
And they're gonna have a stare down.
If
You know what
not,
I
they
mean?
save it for Raw. If not, they save it for the night after Raw.
I'm kind of weirded out with the whole Brock thing still. I don't know if they should bring him back. I think his whole involvement is just a little too.
Yeah, it's a little bad public relations. Like that PR is going to be a little hard to get over there. But
The
I don't
fans have
know.
been asking for this match, dude. This is like one of the big dream matches people want is Gunter versus fucking Brock.
They say time heals all wounds, but that lawsuit is also on like a pause right now. So like maybe once momentum starts getting picked up with that, maybe it'll start causing more of a problem. But right now it's like out of sight, out of mind. And I do feel like the wrestling world does kind of want to have him back. I personally feel like maybe we shouldn't. It might not be good for wrestling, but I'm not the authority.
I mean, going back to the Benoit topic, I think it's good for wrestling fans to have a short-term memory, but also like, I mean, if he really is a part of it all and all that, I mean, that Vince McMahon stuff totally was like, it just blew my mind. Kind of like, I mean, it's not totally unheard of to think that these billionaires do sick shit anyways with their money, but
Yeah.
my biggest whole problem is you got paid. Sorry, you're not happy with the money you got paid for someone to shit on your head. That's your decision.
Yep.
If I was the judge, I'd say, well, ma'am, you agreed to this at the time. Sorry, 10 years later, you wanted more money. you know, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
obviously none of us really know all the details or any of that kind of stuff. So I don't want to
And
make it.
anyone that does is being so quiet.
I'm
Anyone
sorry.
that knows anyone that knows anything is being so quiet too. Like Triple H and Stephanie and all them, they haven't said anything. And I
No,
know damn well Triple H knows some skeletons in them closets, but
right?
there's even been rumors that, the whole Playgirl thing with Shawn Michaels, that was all Vince McMahon, and there's been rumors that Vince McMahon has done things with Shawn Michaels in the past, and so you're like, that shit
Yep.
might be real.
Well, there's rumors and allegations right now surfacing about Paul Levesque about being a racist with Bobby Lashley.
I mean, I'm not gonna deny it, but we've heard things in the past about other people and things like this too. Like
Yeah. I'm glad.
Vince McMahon didn't even want champions that were black back in the
Yep.
day. So
That's
I
why I'm
mean,
saying. I'm glad Lashley got to hold the strap, though. You know what I mean? Because
yeah,
he
for
was one of
sure.
the ones that deserved it. You know, him and Booker and Kofi. Well, I guess Big E too, huh? There's been about 4 or 5 of them now.
Yeah,
So good for them.
Kofi's is the most memorable though, and the most deserving in my opinion. Now
I agree.
Bobby Lashley deserved it too, but
Yeah,
Kofi's was a long time coming, man. He
Lashley
deserved it.
was really in the company at the time. You know what I mean? And he didn't have all the momentum going for it. So
Yeah.
Kofi, that whole Kofi Mania shit really took over. You know, it was awesome.
It was as big as Daniel Bryan, bro. Like those people were cheering and they
And then
wanted him.
to have Daniel Bryan be the one to put him over was pretty
Yeah,
fucking
it was
good.
like poetic. It was
Yeah,
poetry of motion, man.
yeah, that was good stuff right there. Well, fellas, that's pretty much it. We're kind of coming down to the last minute or so here. Doge, I'm sorry, my brother. This has been all wrestling here, and you haven't really been able to say a whole lot. I feel bad. But the next show is
So
gonna be all Doja. I'm gonna shut the
wait,
fuck up. Promise y'all.
uh, I I wanted to say something because you guys were talking about good things that came out of COVID, and you guys
Yep.
forgot one of the most important good things that came out was OnlyFans.
That was
Uh,
probably the most desperate thing that came out of COVID.
when those girls got to doing digital creators, man,
That's why the female work levels and rates are all down now. They don't need jobs anymore. They just
show that
post.
ass. Hey,
it wouldn't be a complete show unless Doge said some crazy shit like that. So now we are officially about to wrap. Skins,
what?
Grim, why don't you go ahead and give him our salute?
Oh, yeah, our salute to all our ass wipes out there making the world a less shitty place.
Well, hey, if any of you asswipes are in the Phoenix or Mesa area Saturday night, August 3rd, you come see me, Nate the Great, at the Red Mountain Center because I'm going to win that match against Wedo and Twisted.
Hell
Take
yeah.
that to the bank.
Take it to the bank. Well, thank you, Nathan. Great for being a guest on the Dro Bro Show. It's been awesome kicking it with you, my brother. You're welcome anytime.
For sure. I appreciate you guys having me on. You guys have a good rest of the night, man.
Well, that has been episode 22 of the Dro Bro Show. We out.
Out.